You know, I mean, just getting off this for a second. This is absolutely about this. You know, when I talk about community and strategy, that's not just necessarily about the wider community. So, for example, I think there is a lot that organizations need to do in the classical sector to talk about and understand about what real communication is. I'm going to be really honest now, and I think communications in the classical sector is either unimaginative or it's a little bit lazy, because we need to really think about what our audiences are about, who we are trying to reach to, who we are trying to engage with the music that we are so passionate about. Why? Because when I talk about that moment when I was a young student, you know, year 7 as they call it these days, first year as I was at a secondary school, and hearing someone play a clarinet for the first time, it just hit me, you know, straight in the center, right in the core of me, and did something for me. So we know what that music can do for the individual. It's now about actually making sure that we reach out and we communicate. So I'm talking about different publications. I'm talking about different channels and strands of social media. I'm talking about icons. Just take, for example, you know, looking at the BBC and having their Asian network, and making sure that they're really reaching out to a wider community. I think we have to be very, very canny about how we change perception, how we build communication, and build relationships. Because while classical music has failed to be diverse, it's meant that, well, as we know, nature abhors a vacuum. So why, you know, what are those individuals going to do? They're going to form their own social groups, their own social interests, what other things that switch them on. So now we're a step behind, and we now need to jump 2 steps forward just to try and be slightly ahead. We need to work harder. So when I talk about that aspect of community, and I'm extending that beyond the organization itself, I also would like to think about community and strategy within the organization, and think about how does a communications department link up with the vision of the organization, the ethos, the mission of that organization, and how does it really work doubly hard to make sure that in itself it is able to communicate, and engage and reach with that much wider organization and community. That for me is something that I've seen is a common trait
Yeah.
that is not yet happening at the moment.